How you doing, everybody? Quick little intro before this episode gets started. First off, welcome back. We are happy to be back. We're happy that you are back here watching this podcast. But there are slight changes to it. So normally we would stream on this channel. What we're doing a little bit differently is because we like to, like me and Pat can talk, so we like to record a bunch of stuff at once. And basically Fridays, we're going to go over to my Twitch, twitch.tv/Andy Malafrina, record No More Heroes, record Drag the Lake, and edit it up and then post it over here on Mondays. Both shows will drop on Mondays. You can watch No More Heroes at 1. You can watch Drag the Lake at 3 if you're so inclined. But yeah, they will be posted over here normally. If you want to watch it live, that again is twitch.tv/Andy Malafrina. The other reason I'm making this intro is we played a clip. So we talk about Gojira at the Olympics. We play a clip from their the Olympics YouTube channel. And I guess they're like super annoying about you playing their shit. So we didn't even play the audio. We just had the video muted, showed how cool the intro was. Like, it's just us. The ironic part is it's just us being like, this is so fucking sick. But there was like a 2-minute chunk where we played the video from the Olympics YouTube channel. They're really lame. So they did a copyright strike. The whole video got blocked. So I'm just going to, for the YouTube version, if you want to hear the whole thing, go over to the audio version. But for the YouTube version, I'm just going to edit out that chunk around 10, 11 minutes. There will be an awkward cut, and it'll be business as usual. You don't miss much. It's just us saying it's sick. But that's pretty much it. Enjoy the pod. I love y'all. Have a good one. Be about it. Peace.
Dude, I'm such a fan of cryptids. I love Yeti. Like I love the fact that they're named after a fucking crypt. Like, that's crazy. That's fucking cold Bigfoot.
Couldn't care less about the quality. I mean, it's just a bonus that it's
That's
high
a win-win
quality.
for me. It's a win-win. But yeah, it's absolutely, like, it's a thing where I think even in general, like, even music conspiracies are fun.
Well,
you know what I mean, like deaths of like pop stars, or the fact of like pop stars satanic connections and shit like that. Snoop Dogg, you see that Snoop Dogg wore a sign of the devil, like a devil's head
he
during the Olympic ceremony. He had like, it was like the Rams or the
here we're in Drag the Lake now.
I know,
Welcome to
that's why.
Drag the Lake. Damn, that the way you fucking
conspiracies, yeah.
slid us in. No, because actually I did want to talk about the Olympics. So yeah, hell yeah. But yeah, hit me with what you were getting at.
Snoop Dogg was a torchbearer, ironically enough, for this year's Olympic ceremony. Goddamn kid. Doja Cat. Do not bring Doja Cat up right now. I will fucking jerk off on stream.
Oh yeah.
So sorry. That's just a warning to anybody. Don't bring her up.
This is a funny tease, a thread. This is a funny tease I found where some dude had a thread of censored album covers in the Middle East, and it was super interesting. So that's something we can also bring up later. But
okay.
yeah, sorry, the Olympics. Snoop Dogg's
he's a torchbearer for, I believe, like the LA part of it or whatever. He was part of the opening ceremony. But his part was like, it was so cool that he wasn't wearing sunglasses. It's so weird to see him now. That's when you see his age.
Oh yeah,
is when he's not wearing sunglasses, but he's doing all this thing, and then like somebody had a still of the gold bling.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm listening. I'm just pulling up videos.
He had that, but see if you can pull up a picture of it. Snoop Dogg Satanist. But he had like he had the fucking, I don't know the actual term. Like, somebody put in like the devil's real, like the devil's real name, Satan's like actual like fucking government name. Yeah.
Oh, first one.
Yeah. What's it say? It's that motherfucker. This fucking guy.
Also, Satan's guy. Oh yeah, yeah.
His hand down,
because that was the. I mean, I hate to even fucking do it.
It's not like a gang. We're not gonna get shot by fucking Satanists or anything. We can flash their symbols if we want. Fucking,
well, the Satan.
What are you gonna do?
I've learned.
I thought we were haunted just now.
Yeah, he apparently had like a pendant, I guess,
during the Olympic ceremony. He's part of the Illuminati or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the fucking thing is, but
Snoop
what do they call it? How do you think he's been able to sing?
Beelzebus.
That's the other thing they do. They do that to black entertainers a lot. Where he, like, in this post, the guy goes, Snoop Dogg at the Olympics, and he shows the fucking Satanist thing, and he goes, how do you think he's been able to stay relevant after all these years? And then you're just like,
whoa,
hey, first off,
I love that guy.
the dude made some great music,
Yeah.
and he's a delight to view. He's a
I'm a
great
fan.
entertainer.
I-
They do that to black
This guy
musicians.
is sitting on his window. I'm sorry. Do you see this guy? He's sitting on his windowsill. He's gonna fall
Where?
right there. Those apartments.
Oh.
Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
I can't. Yeah, I can't.
I've been like, he's popped his head out a couple times. Now he's sitting on the windowsill.
No.
If I watch a guy die right now, I will be convinced
okay.
that Snoop Dogg is a Satanist.
It's okay. When I was recording yesterday, dude, I'm recording and I'm trying to just be like, here's my opinion on this hardcore band with 20 followers. and and I'm just trying to stay focused. And I see a bunch of cops walk up, and then I see police cars with the fucking lights going, and then I see a huge EMS ambulance thing, and I'm like,
coming this way.
I'm like trying to stay focused while in the corner and over to the right, a person is actively dying.
Right. And it might be this guy. Like, he's looking at us now too. Like, he's like, what are these fucking crackers fucking streaming shit? Well, I thought he was going. Oh
yeah, I don't fuck around with
All
that
right.
shit.
Sorry.
I love, if you ever see in like Japan, they have these glass bridges that people walk on.
yeah.
Like, I love.
I keep hitting you.
I love. It's okay.
I'm just so excited.
This
to
is
be
a
in the
new
room with you.
element. Yeah, we can fucking.
Feel
I
each
can
other
grab a
up.
titty whenever I want.
Now he's not. He's gonna start puking.
But no, that's
he's
a
putting a leg up there.
All right,
God damn it,
Pat. You gotta stay.
He's
focused.
putting his leg on there.
It's
Like
also
he's showing off, or he's watching the stream. Is he watching the stream?
It's hopefully.
Hey, you watching the stream? Snap.
So, like and subscribe, you bitch.
Yeah.
It's funny. He looks like he's trying to bring it back to music. He's looked like he's trying to pose for an early Taylor Swift album cover.
Yeah. Like he's like so
just
casual.
sitting in the window.
That's a third story. Sorry. All right. Never mind. Sorry.
It's okay.
Snoop Dogg Satanist. They do it to black celebrities.
Yeah, they do it to black celebrities all the time. Like Nate used to do a joke about it with Gucci Mane, because he like went away. Gucci Mane always was like kind of chubby because he was probably drinking too much lemonade. Well, no, that's one of my favorite anecdotes from fucking Schoolboy Q. He's like, because people were like, yo, you're looking great. How'd you lose all that weight? He's like, I stopped drinking lean.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? And he's like, yeah, no, you mix it with Sprite. And he's like, I'd go through like 2 liters of Sprite every day, just drinking lean. Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's the part of lean addiction. You don't think about it. You also just, you might have seizures and shit, but you're also going to get diabetes.
I say every time I listen, one of my favorite jokes I ever made, speaking of Gucci Mane, I was listening to Lemonade. And there's a part where, they go, Scoochie. And I was like, Scoochie. I was like, not only a great lyric, but also what I say when someone's in my seat.
Yeah.
Scoochie.
How'd that joke do on stage?
Dude, man, it made Manny almost cry laughing. And he said it's one of the funniest things I ever said. Do you agree? You already had notes on there. What are you doing?
Well, that was the No More Heroes page. I need a Drag the Lake page.
The Drag the Lake was the top part, I thought.
But no, it's okay. Don't tell me.
We're live, baby.
I want
to. What are they doing to black Satanists in entertainment?
Oh yeah, that was Nate's. He doesn't do the joke. I remember it being very funny. He's got a couple jokes he stopped doing.
He's got a couple jokes that are pretty funny.
That he stopped.
He's got
a couple.
He's got a couple. He's got a handful of fucking.
It's
bangers.
a hard couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Nate is hard in his couple. But no,
he got a hard couple parties.
No, he had a joke about Gucci Mane where like Gucci Mane drinking all his lean and stuff with his Sprite. He was getting, he was getting a little bit of a belly. He's a little bit of a thick boy.
Yeah.
And then he fucking got thin and people were like, wow, that's crazy. He's in the Illuminati. And Nate's just like, can a black dude just lose weight?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, also, I wonder about Mother's Milk in this season of The Boys. Speaking of black people.
Oh, yeah. Didn't he get on the Ozempics?
I think so, yeah. But or it could be Satan. We don't know. But in Snoop Dogg's case, he is wearing literally a sign of Satan around his neck.
Well, that's the stuff, to go back to like the conspiracy shit. That's the kind of shit where you see like the celebrities with the Satanist shit. Like, you ever see that clip of John Legend? And it's like John Legend, him and Chrissy Teigen get hit with this all the time. There's this clip of John Legend and he's standing with a girl at whatever it was like an award show or a special or whatever the fuck it was. And the girl, because for the Satanist shit, whoever it is, Beelzebub, or I forget the fucking name, because it's hard to get like just like the raw info on it.
Yeah.
Almost like they want it to be like that.
Yeah.
For it's like hard, because the thing I've heard about like how Satan works is Satan can't just do the thing. He has to
influence it.
He has to trick you into wanting to do the thing.
Al Pacino.
So if everyone, so that then makes me think like, oh, that's incentive to like hide the raw text on things, because then if you figure out the plan, they're not going to be able to trick you. But like, so with all the here, I'll show the fucking thing again. But you see the hand gesture where it's like, it's usually like one hand up, one hand down. You do the two fingers together. Right. And there's this clip of John Legend at whatever award show it was, standing with a girl. And then and John Legend hits like a piece, and then she hits this. And then you see her very quickly go like, oh shit, like a very clear, oh shit. And you're like, okay, I don't know how rampant this is and everything. That's not nothing.
Yeah.
So there is.
Yeah. And this is not nothing. This is not normal bling, in my opinion.
It is not normal bling.
Like it's not like I don't know.
But also,
I also feel like there's a new. Satan's really cool. We know this. We've known this for years. Years and years of metal music. We've listened to this. Speaking of, we're going to talk about more Metal Olympics after this. But
Baphomet, thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
That's what
Jesus
it was.
Christ.
Oh, and also Rito's Modern Life also threw
a lot of Satanists in the chat. We appreciate you pounding off.
Shout out.
There's a
donate, convince us to do evil.
there's a weird thing that I feel like I've noticed over the years. It's like there's a new cool name for Satan every other year, or like every quarter. Let's say like every 4 years or so.
That might go back to what you're saying on No More Heroes,
like,
though. Is like
a pretty cool.
We might just be. It just might be the fact that information is more readily available. Maybe we're just learning the names.
Oh yeah, this is his oldest name. But I feel like
it might be.
So not only was this a pretty fucking metal moment, but also during the opening ceremony, they had an animated Marie Antoinette behind performing one of their epic songs.
I'm remembering how.
Who would have thought that like Snoop Dogg would be more metal than Gojira?
I would give that to Gojira.
No way, dude.
They were more metal in this moment than Snoop Dogg.
That's a cool. That's in his fucking that's in like his. Every time they talk about Snoop Dogg at the Olympics, they're gonna show that Satanist.
Oh yeah.
Thing.
Here's
just gonna go. We're just so grateful to be here. This is such a cool opportunity for us.
Here's the thing. I saw this dude posting about,
like,
which I don't know
Baphomet,
I don't know what this is specifically, but it does make you go like, why are you doing this? So you have this one where they have drag queens recreating the Last Supper, and it is this like I love drag queens. I used to fucking watch a bunch of Drag Race with the wife. Yeah. The second date we went on was to a drag show. Like drag queens are fun, but it's this like, oh, it went over into the other thing. But it's like this weird obsession with like fucking shoehorning drag queens into everything. And you look at that and you go like, okay, I see where you're coming from. Drag queens recreating the Last Supper. It's definitely, for fans of the Last Supper, it definitely goes against what they like about it.
Yeah. And
so it is, sorry, last thing. It is a weird forced in thing, but at the same time, when I look at like, I look at like the metal band, when I look at Gojira playing the intro, I think the metal fan in me can't see clearly on it because I go, just as a metal fan, this goes so fucking hard.
Yeah. I think it's pretty funny that that Christians are more offended by this Last Supper because the other Last Supper actually had the person responsible for Jesus's death in it. You know what I mean? Like this one has nothing to do with.
I think they were more mad. They're like, "Hey man, don't break canon."
Yeah.
Look, it's like, oh, they always fuck it up when they take the book and make it into a movie.
They were all still men. They were all still in dresses. They were all still having long hair. They the only difference is these guys are wearing makeup. That's it. So like it's the exact same thing. And it's also French. French things are gay, dude. Like that's just what happens. Like they're kind of famously like apparently very metal, but also in like a very flamboyant way.
Well, you also got to realize I'm trying to get rid of this fucking comment. Someone's spamming it.
Whatever. Oh dear.
Dear heavens.
Somebody's spamming it?
Yeah. No, they put in promotion in the all right.
Don't put promotion in the.
They put promotion in the thing.
Don't put the promotion in the.
Annoying.
We're promoting the Olympics right now. I did like the comment I did see of the Last Supper thing with the fat middle piece in the Last Supper one, the drag queen one, and they said the Ozempics, the 2024 summer Ozempics,
Get out of here! Don't try to sell us shit in the
Yeah.
chat.
except for Ozempic if you want.
Except for Ozempic. Yeah, I don't know. Also the other thing you got to consider is it's not like the Olympics. Like they do it with the Super Bowl. They like the NFL. The NFL isn't sitting there figuring out the halftime show per se.
Yeah.
They go to Jay-Z and they say, "Here's a bunch of money. Give us a halftime show." So he's gonna have his Jay-Z, whatever he feels like doing. And so that's what the Olympics did. They go, hey,
Gojira.
goofy French artists,
Yeah.
give us an opening ceremony. And that's what they gave them, and it went pretty hard.
But
yeah,
I will say in that post is the craziest thing is like an abomination. Like, is it an abomination?
I don't know if it's an abomination, but I will give them credit for being on brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're a Christian, like think about it. If you're a Christian,
but it's all still men. It's just because it's gay men.
Yeah, they don't like if you're locked in on the Bible, you probably don't like drag.
If you don't like gay men, then fucking take a look at your employees.
You're a gay
all right.
man.
Look at your employees, okay, pal.
You're a gay man. Do you like the Olympics? I was very intrigued. Your wife was very hyped up
She
for the
fucking
Olympics.
loves the Olympics for some reason. I don't get it at all. I think it's all right. I just kind of all goes together after a while, and I think I like the Winter Olympics a little bit more because it has hockey. But that's just because I like hockey. I don't really care about skiing but I do like track and field because I like thick broads, and that's where muscle mommies thrive.
Brother,
there's a Jamaican lady
oh dude, we're synced up on our boners.
You know what I'm talking about?
Dude,
yeah,
the Jamaican
Shot put.
whatever it is, sprint running, whatever they call it.
No, I was talking about shot put.
Brother, you need to look up the Jamaican running team, because from what I've gathered in the Olympics, the best asses are
also volleyball. Sorry,
volleyball has top tier asses.
Terrific.
But the best asses are in the long jump.
Yeah,
those were but
track and field butts are the best. I think butts.
But I remember seeing the Jamaican team, and it fucking changed my life, because like with running makes you athletic, but it doesn't translate to like any sort of curves.
Yeah.
So you don't like in long distance running or sprinting, you're not going to see a lot of good butts.
Yeah.
And then the Jamaican team walks out, and you're like, the no amount of running will dictate our biology.
I appreciate the spectacle.
Have big fat asses.
Yeah, I appreciate the spectacle of the Olympics. Like, I like the competition, the worldwide like stage of like who's the best fucking volleyball player, who's the best whatever. What?
Sorry, we have breaking news.
What happened now?
I can't believe beach volleyball wears pants now.
What the fuck did you just say?
You might as well just get rid of the whole fucking sport.
Why?
I'm upset.
Pants?
That's crazy.
You're on the beach. Not even shorts.
You're on the beach. Who wants to go to the beach in pants?
I hate this. Do they have any beaches in Paris? Yes, they do.
What am I talking about? Furious. No, I've never really. God bless.
Sorry, we're so sick.
I never. Yeah, that was the disgust leaving your body. I've never given. And it's like you know how there's things like I was talking to a comic about this. Like I, as a comedian, never did bringer shows, and then some comedians look down upon other comedians that do bringers. I don't really do that. I think a lot of people sort of, you don't know the game and you do a bringer show in the beginning and then you realize it's fucking stupid and it sucks ass.
Yeah. And but then you do like 2 or 3 more and then
you just only do
wait
those.
a couple years and then they start calling them comedy competitions.
And then you become the booker and you make all your money off bringer shows and the cycle continues.
Yeah.
But no, like it's like that. Like I don't care about the Olympics, but I was never a guy who was like, if you care about them, you're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But it's another one of those, the more you figure out how the sausage is made with the Olympics, the more you realize like, oh, this is bullshit. Because it's the thing of like the Olympics usually.
Hi, Smelly Belly.
How are you?
Hi, Carmela, baby.
Hi, Carmela. This is Carmela, the podcast cat.
Yeah, she's one of my. This is the most recent baby. This is Carmela Soprano. Everybody, say hi, Carmela.
Carmela's just mushed her head into the microphone. Carmela's I love all the kitties around here, but Carmela's my favorite. She was the first one to go like, hey, you know how you guys love when we make biscuits? Ooh, I'm making a bunch on
she
you.
loves biscuits. She doesn't care if you're wearing a shirt or not. She'll do it on your bare skin. She's a cutie pie.
Yeah, she biscuited up my belly. It was very painful. But all right. Let's get rid of the cat.
Oh,
okay.
I thought
Sorry.
you were just here now.
No, you were doing your cat voice, and I was like, don't reveal your
I will always do my cat voice.
That's fair. Whatever.
I am who I am.
Yeah, fair enough. I respect
Got a new
that.
viewer too. Look at that.
Look at that.
Huh?
We got cats.
Go on, Carmela. Show them your butt.
No, the thing about the Olympics that makes me have zero interest in it, and like I don't want to like support that. Not to sound like a fucking cornball, but you realize every time, or it feels like they're doing it less. Like they're in France. That's like France is a pretty like big first world country, but a lot of times they go to these like second or third world countries. They go, we'll give you the Olympics. They make them think it's going to be a big economic boom. They like put all the resources together to make these fucking stadiums. They do the
same thing with the World Cup.
Yeah, they do all these, put the resources together to make these fucking stadiums. And then when the Olympics leave, because they're like a poor country, they don't have anything to keep the stadium. So it's just a huge waste of money. They fuck up their infrastructure. And then the other thing was, like, what the fuck? Well, I saw this tweet where this brings it back to music. Major props to Flavor Flav, because people were making fun of it because Flavor Flav sponsors like some random women's team that just felt weird. But apparently the team he sponsors he found out that all the people on the team have like multiple jobs and shit.
Uh-huh.
And it's just a thing of like, you see all the money that the fucking Olympics are making. And it's just a thing of like, you shouldn't have to have multiple jobs to be in the Olympics.
It's almost the same thing about like UFC fighters. For a long time, I know Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, who was like working construction, training, and then every couple months would fight and like all that stuff. Like after a while, I feel like if you're in a major federation, league, sport, whatever, anything, even in the minors, and in some cases, I feel like you at least should be able to live comfortably and not have to worry about like things.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like you don't have to be like, you don't have to make trillions of dollars.
Well,
but I don't know.
No, I hear you, because there are like to be real though, there are economic forces where it's just like, you have to be able to make them money. So like that's more so with UFC. It's like you have to be able to make the promotion money. So getting paid less makes sense to certain fighters, but at the same time, it's like I was talking about how when you go to like a big music venue and they have the 24-ounce beers that are like $15.
Yeah.
And you're like, fine, inflation. Beers are going to be more, they're $1.50 at the fucking corner store. They're obviously going to be more at the venue.
Right.
But like you've passed the reasonable price for inflation and you've added a substantial fuck you price onto that. And it's like the same thing with like the fucking Olympics. It's like you guys you have to be making crazy money doing this. And it's like you can't figure out, I mean, I'll be the most generous. It's like, okay, fine. You don't have to pay them. Don't like that. You don't have to pay them directly, but like you can't subsidize certain things for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. But
there can't be something. Well, okay, you are now like, because you have to qualify to get into the Olympics. He just keeps chewing on stuff like an asshole. Stop it. But you have to qualify. You have to qualify for the Olympics. Like
we don't get canceled for the slurs. We get canceled because you hit your cat with a pen.
I tap her on the nose with a pen.
Yeah, it's a little tap. She's fine.
So there's a once you qualify for the Olympic team, I feel like
sorry, we gotta ignore her. We gotta try better to ignore her.
Just came home.
Oh, okay.
But like once you qualify for the Olympic team, I feel like that should take care of like, you shouldn't have to worry about day job shit. You shouldn't have to worry about, you are now officially a part of the team. You're not like you're not like a guest, you're not something like that. Like if you're actually that, like you should be able to like there should be a standard of living
Well,
afforded to you,
it's like if we're
and you can make it equal to all athletes. But honestly, there's some athletes like Simone Biles and other ones that I don't know any other names,
well, I don't know.
but
I
like
know
that's the only Olympian. Like there's always one or two celebrity Olympians from our country that I'm familiar with that are like they're the one that like I'm sure that she's excited to watch, that Dom's
yeah,
excited to
and
watch.
and I look at it as like too. It's like, hey man, if the government's gonna fucking steal our money, maybe give some of it to the people representing our country.
Yeah.
Like fuck, dude.
But I also saw the living conditions for a lot of the athletes is crazy too,
Yeah, they had
because
like cardboard beds.
cardboard beds and shit like that, where they're like, I
Yeah,
don't know, like okay, what is the point of having this spectacle, the Olympics? Like again, you get here to the Olympics. Now should be the time. Okay, if you didn't get the quality, if you didn't get the living wage, the extra money, the sponsorships, all this other shit, then at least when you get to compete, you should be treated like an Olympian. Like you're
yeah.
here, and it's but they've crammed it with. There's like all due respect, there is an
Tell me about the
Olympic
cram.
skateboarding team.
I like that.
It's not the X Games.
Dude.
I don't know. What are we talking
Wait,
about?
we
Olympians?
can get medal in the Olympics, but not the activity that is fun to watch
I
while
get
medals
it.
play.
I get it. I'm just saying that like it's like then why not also all of the other X Games?
Well, in due time. It took a while to get skateboarding in.
But why? Why not jujitsu? Why judo? Why not jujitsu?
It all boils down to a very personal to your experience.
It's every other grappling except for jujitsu, apparently.
Guys, Pat's trying to get into the Olympics at 38.
It's the only way I'll get there. No, I still have to wait 4 years.
Let's keep it.
So I'll be 42.
Oh yeah, right, true. Let's keep it moving to more music. No, someone was telling I literally had one of my favorite comments earlier.
Was it that ad?
No, it was that's so funny. Andy took Big Red. That's the best Satan name. That's so funny.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Baphomet sucks. Big Red's best.
Ooh, someone said this. Check out Yosemite and Black. They rip. They are very good. Check out Yosemite and Black. Where the fuck was it?
Oh, add them to the playlist.
Yeah, they're good. They're very heavy, and they're kind of like the punk rock strain of hardcore.
I miss my cat.
Oh, here we go. This person said Andy put me on to Kubla Khan. They fucking rip, and I mean that's why we do this, man. That's literally like I had that for a while with a lot of my friends because in our friend group, I was the first one to get hip to Run the Jewels, and if you're friends with me for more than 5 seconds, you realize I'm like the biggest Run the Jewels mark ever. So having people tell me like I checked out Run the Jewels, I love them, I listen to them often. Like I did that for our good friend Kirk of the Proper Ebonics podcast. Check it out. Good friend Kirk. I introduced him to Run the Jewels, and then literally at one point we didn't like go together, but we ended up going to the same Run the Jewels show.
Yeah.
And I was, dude, it was so fun watching my friend who I introduced this rap group to spaz out during the show, like us spazzing out together while watching the show. I was like, this is the best fucking time.
Yeah, I think there's I'm sorry, I was just reading there's I think somebody said there's breakdancing in the Olympics. I know we're past that now, but Jesus Christ. That's crazy.
Isn't there? Yeah, that is actually crazy. Oh, hell yeah. Andy put me on a Dying Wish.
Oh, nice.
Let's go.
Yeah, so yeah, anytime you can suggest quality shit, like somebody can say like, oh, this is good. Like that's what I'm excited about Gojira being on the not only am I a Gojira fan as far as the movies go, the band itself is a great representation, I think, for metal. In my personal opinion, this is not the views represented of Drag the Lake, so I just want everybody to know it's my personal views. I feel like it's a way better representation of metal than that other band that we always talk about, the one that everybody loves, the super popular.
Oh yeah, Spirit Box.
Yeah.
We got to go over this again. I was never making that argument.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying I think this is really cool to be like, hey, this is a metal band. And people are like, this kind of rips actually.
Yeah. But to reiterate the Spirit Box argument, I never was like, oh, Spirit Box is the best version of metal.
Right.
I go, if you like Spirit Box, it turns into a pipeline into way better music.
Right.
So having a band like that being ultra popular makes me happy because then they'll find better music. But so this is the thing. So bringing up Kubla Khan, It's an honor to introduce you to Kubicon. They're kind of my favorite band right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
they're
like that.
kind of the band
For
that
a while now.
Yeah, like I remember I found them because I was gonna go see them with Knock Loose a while ago, and I got booked at the Stand, so I bailed on that to go to perform at the Stand.
Idiot.
No, shout out Guard Dog, got me on the shit. Guard Dog. But yeah, but then I started because whenever I go to a show, I try to listen to usually I go to a show, there's the main band you like, and then there's usually at least 3-4 other bands.
Yeah.
And I always, if I don't know the other bands, I try to take time to familiarize myself with like the next top 3 billed bands. Because I think if you have enough time, it's easy to sort of get yourself introduced to at least 2 or 3 bands. And I was doing that with Kubicon, and slowly over time they were like, oh, this is what I was missing. Yeah. They sort of became like, oh, this is what I need right now. Like I remember there was some day when they dropped Theory of Mind, there were some days where, sometimes you wake up and you just get bombarded with the sads, and then you just pop on Theory of Mind and you're like, oh yeah, don't be a fucking pussy today, dude. You just hear the heavy riffs, because I think the song's technically about love, like lost love or something like that, but just from a musical standpoint, it turns into the theme music for your day, and you're like, yes, this is how I'm living the day. I'm not being a fucking bitch today. Let's go. Sometimes you need a reminder to not be a fucking pussy.
Yeah.
And that's why. So I let this current event bother me a lot.
Yeah, because when was this, by the way?
This was about a week ago.
Because I remember this popping off in general, and it's just kind of, it's such a weird, and we always talk about
I love
non-news stories that are news stories. Like, to me, the fact that we're talking about this is crazy.
Yeah, non-news stories that are noteworthy and kind of like a good, it's sort of, because it's good to bring up, because it kind of goes to a bigger point of what really bothers me about, I don't want to necessarily say like the current, so like with the current state of music, and specifically these genres that we talk about a lot on here, I like talking about this stuff because with the current state, it's like obviously everyone who listens to the genres we talk about, there's a lot of different perspectives and political views and all this other shit. I think everyone can understand there's a wide spectrum. But when it comes to when it comes to what's accepted to be in public, then the purview gets very narrow. And then you get a lot of these people, it's like the loudest of the people, the way that did the guy fall this time?
No, I was just thinking, you said, and then you got these people, the loudest. I was about to say, what do you mean these people? And then you go, the loudest of the people, and they go, oh, those people.
Yeah. You could still go down your thought process where you go, those people, the loud ones. Oh, you're like, all right, Andy, okay. Back it up.
I got you.
But no, I'm talking about the teacher's pets, the fucking complainers and shit like that.
But actually,
yeah, but you forgot to give us homework, teacher. Those people, you know what I mean? You forgot us to give the test today. And it's the entitlement I see, because it's not about disagreeing. It's the entitlement of your opinion being right.
Yeah,
drives me up a fucking wall. So like what happened was, lead singer of Kubicon, Matt Honeycutt, he committed the ultimate sin.
Yeah.
He committed the ultimate sin.
This is a 2024 hate crime, by the way.
Yes, this is a literal hate crime.
Yeah.
I mean, he basically...
Honestly, if you guys are sensitive, the kids are in the room right now, you should probably have them leave, because honestly, if he sees something like this...
I'm about to show you someone actively signing up for the Nazi party.
So just be prepared.
Matt Honeycutt committed the ultimate sin... The ultimate sin of liking a pro-Trump post.
Oh my God. On Instagram, of all places.
Which actually, reading the actual post, I don't know if the whole thing is here. It's so funny too, because it just, and this guy's comment, Matt Honeycutt liked this post. Y'all didn't believe me when I said he was a conservative, which is a key comment on the jumping off point, or it's a key thing to point out on the jumping off point of this post, because what happens is someone makes a dumb opinion, someone expresses a very dumb, unthought out opinion like this. People counteract it by going like, here's the very clear way why you're being dumb, and then people shift it because so the original beef is like, oh, there's a conservative in hardcore, which you're like, hey, there's actually a lot of them.
No,
and they're allowed to fucking listen to music.
It even goes back further than that. I feel like because it comes down to like there is a good and there is a evil party.
Yeah,
like that's where it really starts. Is where it starts with like these are the good guys and these are the bad guys. So now then we go to like punk rock. I remember when I was younger. I remember fuck, what's his name? Matt Graves. God damn it.
What band? It's okay.
Misfits.
It's okay.
The Misfits.
Yeah, it's okay. Hey, you got there. Okay. Dude, you were about to fucking
but he's like,
what's his fucking name?
I can't remember his first name, but the lead singer, the new lead singer that of the Misfits.
Oh yeah.
Coming out, he came out as like pro Bush, and I remember thinking at the time, and reflecting since then, being like, I'm just like, oh, you fucking like that evil piece of shit, and it's just like,
yeah, and it's like
different. It's just different now.
And
you realize nowadays there's no evil. There's no. They're both bad guys.
Well, it's honestly too, if you think about it, it's like it's kind of the same when your favorite dude like Fat Mike came out and was like, go vote for Al Gore.
Yeah, that was
it's like you're both telling someone.
I fell for that. That's what I'm saying, is I was in that fucking
and I did
cult.
too.
Yeah,
I did too. Don't feel excluded.
But that's the thing, is like looking back at it now, it's almost embarrassing to think like that, to think like, I told you, we got him.
And that's the distinction. That's the distinction
we
where
caught him liking a post.
That's that's such a good point.
I guarantee you,
ask
Matt Honeycutt. He'll fucking tell you how he feels. He does, you know what I'm saying? Like he's the kind of guy that doesn't hide and that's the thing is his personal politics are his personal politics. I don't fucking care. If he starts preaching to me at his shows, that's when I get pissed off. That's why I'm way more offended by bands like Anti-Flag, by fucking bands that like are going to go on these tirades about whether it's not because of my personal politics. Even it's just the fact that I came here for your fun art.
Yeah.
That like if you have subtext or you have a message behind this, you can let me know before the show. But if it's between every fucking song, or if it's while they're not even like. You do not have to fucking care about this post at all. Like if you lost all faith if you thought Kubla Khan was like the most progressive band in the world, or they were like, whatever, I don't know.
Well, it's just
I don't think of them like that. I think of them like a fucking metal band.
It's just such an entitled way to think. Like the example I love to go to is I love Stray from the Path, and I've listened to them give their opinions. And they're all goofy lefty progressives.
Yeah,
I think their opinions are really bad. But here's the thing about Stray from the Path. When they play music, they fucking rip. Right. Also, they're anti-war. And I respect that because a lot of left-wing people forgot to be anti-war after Obama.
You know what that's it? You know what that's known as, by the way? That's finding common ground. Yeah. That means I don't necessarily line up to you every moral or ideal, like whatever it is, political, moral, or anything, whatever subject.
Yeah.
But I can actually find some kind of place where we can meet, whether it be the art that you make and or this particular message, or you are looking for something that you can find common ground instead of looking for something to get them on, to say like, sorry, I'm pointing at the monitor.
No, that's a good point.
It looks like I'm pointing at the camera, but I'm looking at, we have the post there.
That's a good point where it's like, I didn't think about it that way.
You found common ground instead of being like, this is why I still hate them. You were like, actually, their music rips. And you know what? There is a thing that we actually agree on.
Well, it's actually like a window into people like this, in a person like this, into like his mindset. Right. Because like, I really like the distinction of he's phrasing this as a got you. When in actuality,
told you.
In actuality, like the response should be is you go, oh, fuck, Matt Honeycutt's a conservative?
He's actually a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, a conservative can be a cool guy. Oh, it's almost like people are complex, and you can't just fit them into one very specific box based off one opinion of theirs.
Right.
And I was going to say this before, reading the guy's post, and
also, I didn't read the post either. I just saw the picture.
No, this is actually, let me pull it up on Instagram because it goes a little bit longer.
Oh, there's more. Like that's just a screenshot.
Well, I just want to get
yeah,
the
because somebody
whole.
got him.
Yes.
Screenshot him. It's funny too because I'm sure the post is still up. Like you didn't have to catch him. Like it was just there. It's all right.
Oh, that's the other part. Like
now we're
when
on
people.
Instagram. Watch out.
Well, like on this one. Oh yeah, I'm about to get so horny.
We're gonna get so distracted by boobs and wrestling.
Hopefully a
Look at that.
female wrestler doesn't pop up. Actually, that match was crazy.
If Nikita Lyons is here, we're in trouble, buddy.
Oh, dude, shout out Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. That match was crazy.
We made it. We did it, guys.
Oh yeah, here's the and also too, it's like it just cracks me up because this guy that the guy that Matt Honeycutt the post he liked, he is really a guy who's like in the post he literally here let's bring it up because the way the post starts is so funny because after reading this I look through the dude's page and it just immediately goes contrary to like how the dude is.
Yeah.
So he starts off with let's bring this up. Also sick hot wife.
Yeah, I just noticed. I didn't notice it in the screenshot. Isn't that crazy? Like you brought it up just now, and I was just like, "Damn, I didn't even notice there was a pretty lady here."
Yeah, but
I feel progressive now.
But he starts off with, "I try not to get political anymore," which I immediately went through his Instagram, and it's always just like when the liberals are being fucking
it's always
snowflake fucking pussies, and you're like, all right,
you
dude.
can't have that first sentence in this.
It's
picture.
like, dude, you know your image.
Yeah.
This is not anything. But yeah, so he goes, "I try not to get political anymore as it's bad for business, but I'm also not afraid to say what's on my mind and what I stand for. This country has taken a tremendous shit since Sleepy Joe." Yeah, it's like, dude, I'm not political, but I'm using
all the terminology.
I also call him Sleepy Joe.
Here are some of the talking points,
which is the most Trump dude thing to do.
Yeah.
And the alphabet administration took office, and although I can read, this is just small because our monitors are far away. I don't stand for everything Trump does. And this is a big distinction too, where it's like this guy, although he is like a fucking he does work into the cliched conservative take down the woke mob person.
Believe it or not, he actually is a little bit political, but
he's also throwing in a dash of nuance where he goes, "And although I don't stand for everything Trump does, I'm choosing the lesser of two evils. I truly believe he represents the American people," blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right. We didn't have to bring the whole thing up, but yeah, it's like that lesser of two evils distinction that he put in where it's just like, yeah, he's actually not now holding a, I will say this, holding a Trump flag up does not feel like lesser of two evils, but he's still adding a dash of nuance where it's like, that's the meat of the post. He's making the point where it's like I've said it before, like, I don't want to vote for Trump, but if they put someone in like Gavin Newsom, you're really getting me to vote for Trump. Cause I will, at the end of the day, I'll take Trump over that guy any day. I don't fucking like Trump. But so it's like, you get that where you're like, yeah, do I want to get like, I don't know, do I want to get raped or my titty squeezed? It's like, if I have to choose one, I'll get a titty squeeze. I don't like either, but I'll choose a titty squeeze over getting raped and shit like that. So there is actually a nuance there and shit like that. And there's also just a better way of going about things where can you imagine? I think about this too, being like a libertarian and shit like that. And being a libertarian in comedy, can you imagine if me going around doing stand-up, I was just like, "Oh, you don't believe everything I believe? Well, I can't fuck with you."
Yeah.
Like literally, one of my best friends, Lemaire, is like politically the polar opposite. I'm not friends with him because of his political beliefs. I'm friends with him because he's nice to me and he treats me good and he's very fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's
the common grounds you do find. Like that's the thing. It's like
my friend's political opinions are some of the least interesting things about him. I don't give a fuck.
A lot of times when people say like you can know a person by the people they surround themselves with, like that's the thing is you don't have a bunch of people repeating the same things you're saying surrounding you. So like to me that shows nuance, and that shows that you're able to like people for other than them showing you a mirror to yourself. Mm-hmm. And you're able to like actually, so like really,
that's a really good point.
If you think about it, if you don't have people that are in your circle that are willing to challenge you, then why wouldn't you? Like that's the thing. That's kind of the beauty of a lot of relationships as well. Like people don't. I think people don't know. They're not willing to accept their faults, or they're not willing to at least realize or take creative
Well, it's
criticism. You know
and
what I'm saying? Like,
also
and that's what, like, being married, a lot of times you get a lot of where, like, you ask for honesty because you're being your truest self, and you're allowed to be your truest self. But you also, if you ever open up the floor for questions, you know, a lot of times you might get a little hurt, but it's for the best. You take it
yeah.
with a grain of salt. So, like, the same thing with your friendships. If you just have a bunch of people going like, yeah, man, you look great. Like, if somebody's not like, are you gonna wear that shirt?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
And also too, sometimes people's faults is what like gives them character. Like
right.
I remember I told you last night. Now and I don't know if this is a fault. I view it as a thing I wouldn't want to do. But like last night, we were at the bar. Bars close at 2. We're all standing around and everyone's trying to like Gardini's like, yo, come back and we'll shoot darts in my garage and drink my bottle of Jameson and 6 Lone Stars I have. I want to come back and this will be the next topic. I want to come back and drink 6 beers in my bedroom and watch Limp Bizkit videos.
Right.
And to them, that's a fault, but then that probably makes me more funny to them or something. And then Nate's there going, it's like 2:30 in the morning, and Nate's going like, I'll come over to your garage if I can bring my dog. And I hear that and I go, that sounds like a nightmare to get into. But to Nate, the most fun he can have in this moment is driving back to his apartment, walk up 3 flights, get his dog, drive it to Gardini's garage, and sit in Gardini's garage, drink Jameson, and shoot darts while he pets his dog. And I wouldn't do that, but that makes me love Nate more because I go, that's hilarious. Nate's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, also, I remember like, this was a funny one. Like my wife, she had a little bit of a gap in her front teeth. And I always thought it was the cutest thing. And some people looked at it as a fault. I looked at it as like, oh, it makes my sweet baby even cuter. And then she got Invisalign and her gap went away.
And you're like, ew.
And I miss her gap in her teeth.
Yeah.
Because it made her look so cute.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, your faults make you more interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, it's yeah.
So even if you think this is a fault, like, you should still at least be able to, like, if this means that you were never a fan of Matt Honeycutt. You're just somebody you're a hater, drinking haterade, being a hater ass bitch online.
You're just looking to tear people down. And it's like,
you think you're being a hater, but you're just reporting somebody liking a thing or being, or also that, like, who gives a shit?
And I don't know a lot about, who gives a shit, but it's like, also too, you think about it too, you look at someone who like Matt Honeycutt, who, you know, in music, it's so easy to, like, there's a lot of entertainers we like we both like the Misfits and we like you like Guar better, but you like the Misfits, right?
Yeah.
Would you want to hang out with Danzig?
Never.
Not for a day.
Never.
Not for an hour would I want to hang out with
Not
Danzig.
even if you paid me.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I wouldn't do it for money. I would, because then, like, I would feel like the entitlement of that piece of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just being around that guy. Like, but
I would if he paid for lunch and he would let me like figure him out, then maybe.
No.
But if it was just like, hey, we're watching football at Danzig's house, I'd be like, you guys have fun doing that.
No way, dude. Yeah, if it was Danzig's garage and he's like, come over and drink my water and lift my weights, like, I'd be like, no.
There will be no beer, and you can't bring beer.
Yeah, and I'm allergic to dogs.
I'm not, but I say I am.
Yeah, exactly. He'd be that kind of guy.
He would be the guy, yeah. But no, and it's like, so Matt Honeycutt, and I don't mean to just fucking stroke him off this whole time, but I appreciate him being in music because I've seen enough of interviews of him. He's a upstanding gentleman, right? And in a genre where it's just littered with like public dirtbags and secret dirtbags, he's a ray of light where it's like, oh, you can do this and not be a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then I go over to like this dude, and I'll make it very clear, like, you know, this guy's not, he's choosing to be public to a degree by tweeting, but he's not a public person. So any of that bullshit you do where you try to dox people, figure out where he works, I don't support any of that shit. But I'm going to make an educated guess. This guy is nowhere near as accomplished and probably as an upstanding gentleman as like fucking someone like Matt Honeycutt.
Right.
So it does become a thing where almost piggybacking off you going, who gives a shit? It's like, it's also like, who the fuck are you, man?
Yeah.
You know, you could say that about us, which would be fair. You know what I mean? But it's like, you know, but at the same day, you know, we try to speak. That was the compliment Ty Ty gave us, where it was like we were being critical of the song, but he was like, you weren't wrong, and you were giving constructive crit, or not the song. The song was great. It was the video we were making fun of. He was like, you were being funny, you were giving constructive criticism, and you weren't wrong about it. So it's like, hey man, it's like we're fucking no one, you're fucking no one. Maybe when you get out in public and you choose to be more public, maybe think about what you say and try not to sound like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I think it's like it's a weird thing to say. Like, who did R. Kelly vote for? Who was Michael Jackson voting for? Like, people that were actually accused of actual crimes.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's plenty of entertainers that are, and I'm not saying like whataboutism kind of thing, but like in the sense that like there's actual people being accused of actual crimes. Do you know what I mean? This guy liked a post from a person that's saying, I'm not even fully supporting this person. I just think that this is the lesser of two evils. And there's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
he likes a post that supports a candidate that half the country likes.
Right.
Honestly,
has been a president in the past, has led this country.
At this point, probably way more than half the country is going to vote for.
So pointing at somebody and going, oh, look, he's a fan of that person that like you said, half the country has been a huge fan of for years and years. So I don't think this is news. So like you going, aha, we got you. Is this thing of like, that's your world, dude. And that's a team. It's not just his world, but it's a team of people that are like, aha, we got him. We have proof that he's an evil doer.
And that's the big problem with politics.
Now I'll burn my Kuba Clan shirts and fucking.
Which don't do that. They do a lot of one-offs that are very cool.
Yeah.
It'd be a shame to burn them. No, and also the team thing is, you know, a lot of people act like, oh, that's a new thing. No, it's always been a team thing. I just think it's more polarizing now. And that's my big problem with how a lot of people approach politics is they look at it as a team, and it's like, no, look at it as ideas.
Yeah.
That will get a lot of people more disenchanted with the Democratic and Republican parties, because it's like, it's like, why do they believe those things? Because that's the thing they believe now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like, yeah, back in the day, weren't the Democrats like pro-slavery? And, you know, now they try to act like they love every disenfranchised group. It's like, it's just whatever the fucking thing is now. Because it's like, this party believes this and that party has to believe the opposite thing.
Right.
You know, it's what you're into it. So if you approach it as ideas and you go, well, why would Matt Honeycutt in a scene where it's, you know, that's not, if you do a thing like this, it's going to get you shit. Why is he willing to openly do that? One, he's like we said before, and we'll keep stroking him off. Anytime that camera's on, I'll stroke the hell out of this man. But, you know, he's an upstanding gentleman. And also you got to look at the, like, why are more people, okay, Trump's this evil guy, but why are more people supporting Trump? And you look at it with clearer eyes and you go like, yeah, there's more, like the country is going fucking nuts with the shit. And he's saying shit that, and you know, he's not going to stick to it, but he's saying shit here and there that may fix it or whatever. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's just, and you don't have to like the guy. I don't fucking like the guy, but I can 100% understand why someone would support him. So it's like, get out of your bubble, understand ideas, and just stop being a little bitch.
Yeah. It's like, it's funny too, because there's like, the Tenacious D thing. Like, it's not necessarily like out of both of those scenarios, like out of Matt Honeycutt liking a post that's pro-Trump and Kyle Gass saying a thing that's anti-Trump, I don't think either one of them should be punished whatsoever.
No.
I think both of them, like, even like both of them were either that's just him like liking a post that's like arguably pretty neutral, but yes, he is holding up a Trump flag and officially endorsing a candidate, which normally I would go, who the fuck gives a shit? But then you have something like Kyle Gass making a joke about
That dude, that was
don't miss Trump next time or something like that. And it's like it's to me it's the exact same thing as NoFX at in Las Vegas.
yeah. We talked about that.
It's the exact same thing. Like there's no difference. So in both of these scenarios, I think there's not that this is going to be anything, and not to mention Kublai Khan's on hiatus right now because the lead singer that you're trying to drag through the mud is taking care of
Don't fucking drag him through the lake. If you drag him through the lake, you're
well, drag him through the lake. If you're dragging him through the mud, drag him through the lake so you can clean him off.
Yeah,
but
sorry, I stepped on your good point you were about to make.
But he's taking time off of making money with his very popular band right now to take care of his fucking pep. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's
who's actively like
dying from fucking dementia.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, sorry, I have to disappoint all of you.
Let me cancel.
I'm sorry to you guys, but my pep's dying and I need to take care of him.
Let me cancel a overseas tour that will definitely make them a bunch of money.
Right. So like, yeah. Oh, you caught him liking a post. Ease up on the guy, dude. Who gives a fuck if you don't like his politics? He's taking care of his pep. He's a good guy. Shut up.
Yeah. And then
the
last part of the Kublai Khan thing that almost got me even more mad because everyone fucking does this. They did this to Louis when he was getting canceled, and they're just like
made fun of how he jerks off.
No, I mean, I'm pro jerking off.
Yeah.
His technique was unmatched.
Yeah.
Maybe, who he chose to interact with, maybe he might want to bone up on that technique.
No pun intended.
But the problem was he was so boned up. He wasn't thinking clearly.
But yeah, they did it when Louis did it.
But they did it with Louis, where they go, Louis getting canceled, and all these people come out of nowhere and go, I never thought he was funny. Yes, you fucking did.
Yeah, you
Fuck
can't do that.
You. And a lot of people are doing that with Kublai Khan. They're like, I never liked the band. I'm like, yes, you did. Because here's the thing. I'm a fucking mark for Kublai Khan. I've had Matt Honeycutt's balls lodged in the back of my throat this whole conversation. Like, I've seen Kublai Khan discourse.
Tsunami, but it's not.
Tsunami. Oh, yeah. Oh, where's my knife?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I got to find my Kublai Khan.
I got another one for Texas. This is my other.
It's a pen.
It's a pen.
For YouTube, it's a pen.
If they thought that was, dude.
You're
right, I guess. It's a pen.
I mean, cops mistake a pear for a gun.
I did hold up the riot knife.
But yeah, it's crazy. I've had this whole conversation without my Kublai Khan knife. Right. I do feel naked.
It's been up his ass this whole time. He's being modest. He's been sucking him off, so he had that up his ass.
I'm so locked in. It's up my ass.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I've been locked into Kublai Khan Discord on the internet. I've literally never seen people post these comments. And it's like you see it. There's this new band now that everyone, and they're a little bit more niche, but there's this new hardcore band everyone's jerking off that I don't fucking get it. I completely have the fun you want to have fun. If you're not hurting anyone else, have the fun you want to have fun. I don't understand it. It's that band Torture. But even with that band Torture, there's a million people online going, I don't fucking like. I see people constantly on Twitter getting just fucking ratioed to a motherfucker because they, God forbid, they don't get why Torture's popular. I've never seen that ever with Kublai Khan. All I see is people going like, damn, this band fucking rips. They'll post videos of his mosh call outs. They'll be like, that's so goddamn funny. And now magically he likes one post and everyone's like, oh, I never liked Kublai Khan. You're fucking lying because you want to, that goes back to the team shit. You want to look good for the team. So you're fucking lying. Like that one. Yeah. I don't know. I could go about that forever.
They hurt your boy. They hurt your boyfriend and you want to stand up for him. So it's understandable.
They hurt my beautiful, beautiful Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we can keep it moving. Someone was talking about the DCs. Actually, I should
Who said the DCs?
Well, I thought he was just saying a clean Diet Coke. He said you like Diet Cum. So he fucking roasted your ass. You like Diet Cum.
Damn.
At least you're trying to watch your figure when
honestly, it's lower.
Trying to watch your figure when you're full of cum.
Don't like empty calories.
I
like a full belly of cum.
We had a comment earlier. Which Tyler are you chummy with again? It's Tyler from I'm wearing the hat. Capra.
Tai.
Very good band.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Langlois.
Well, we're chummy with Tyler, but he's not in a band.
But yeah, Tyler from Capra, who is, I think, currently on a little hiatus, but they're going to be back and they're going to be rocking ass.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes you got to regroup.
Yeah.
But no, I wanted to start with this, but No More Heroes just popped off, and we had to fucking vibe. You got to vibe where the vibe
Oh
is.
yeah, sorry, I went with conspiracy. We
Oh,
went
no,
conspiracy first, but
No, honestly,
it was a good ending.
It was bet. It was
It was a
better.
good ending for you.
It was better. Yeah, it was better though, just because that's why we do No More Heroes. Because you heard it with the Olympics talk. You know, non-music stuff will seep in if we don't get it out of our system.
Yeah.
But no, we were talking about ending the night, and I didn't want to go shoot darts in Sean's garage. I really wanted to come back because I was in like a good mood. And sometimes I come back and I'm just like, I'll maybe have one beer and go to sleep. I could feel it. I was like, oh, you got a lot of beers in you.
Yeah.
And this goes back to one of my favorite pastimes in college. In college, I would very often go out, get very drunk, and then I would not get pussy. So, but I don't want to. It's a waste when you're really drunk and you go right to bed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
I agree with that. I
it's
do.
like
I get that feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if you rented a movie and watched the first 10 minutes of it and go, I got it.
That's why my cutoff is usually like two beers. Like cutoff is like, because if I go to 3, then I'm like, all right, now I'm going for it. If it's less than 2 beers, then I'm like, okay, this is I wanted to get a little bit of buzz and then go to bed.
Dude, you're so right. 3 to 4 beers is a very big line.
There's like an over under, and because I don't drink as much, I feel like 1 or 2 of those IPAs will like that'll like, all right, if I go again, I'm gonna have, if I have 3, I need to get, I should probably have 5.
And it's all based off of what, well, you all got no, for real.
You know what I mean?
Because you have to time it out based off when you're going to go to bed.
Right.
Because think about it. If you're 3 beers in,
right,
and then you stop drinking, you can go back to normal and not come down with the sleepy eepies
put it in medical terms.
Yeah. And you can enjoy the rest of your day without the sleep. You know, maybe you need a coffee, but you can go back to square one easy.
Right.
Once you get to like 5 beers and you still have like, if you're at 5 beers and you still have like pretty low burp count.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm proud of myself. If you get to 5 beers and you still got a couple hours, you might as well just drink 10 beers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I knew I had more in me. I was like, I don't want to waste this. And I came back here.
I don't want to waste all this.
I don't want to waste all this liquid gold that is Lone Stars and Michelob Ultras.
Hell yeah.
And I came back and I was like, all right, we're doing my favorite pastime. I should shout out this one band where I really want you to listen to them.
Oh, you
fuck. I forget what they're called. Because I was calling them Shinobi Blade.
Yeah.
No, and then for some reason, I just kept calling them Shinobi Blade. But no, they're called Shinto Katana.
Shinto
Katana. They're an Australian band. Australian or Sydney? Or wait, is Sydney in Australia?
Yeah.
No, it's New Zealand that is like, don't mix them up. That's my fault. Yeah, they're an Australian band, I believe. And they basically they honestly remind me of, it's like a little mix between like Amur, Kubla Khan, and Boundaries. Like they all have a little bit of that because they go into an Amur flavor. And like they have the tone of Boundaries, but then they keep it way more hardcore centric like Kubla Khan does and shit like that.
Got any Asian people on here?
No, they're all Australian bulls.
Huh.
But the name, I remember I'm telling you, like, I was talking about this when I was recording the I'm trying to do a new weekly thing where I do like a long video of a bunch of bands I've never heard of before.
A band based on a blade.
Yeah. And I remember when I was looking through shit, when I've known Shinto Katana for a minute, not super long because I keep calling them Shinobi Blade. But I've known them for a minute. But like, oh yeah, when I was doing the stream, some of the band's videos I was clicking on, it's like, dude, if they just had a cool thumbnail, I was like, well, the thumbnail's cool.
Yeah.
So there's a higher likelihood that the band's going to be cool. And it was the same thing with Shinto Katana. That's such a sick fucking name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially to be like a band full of all Australian people. If you're calling your band Shinto Katana, I'm still doing it. If you call your band Shinto Katana, you probably know enough shit because that's like a couple layers deeper into whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I checked them out.
It's like a reference of like a samurai's like sidearm or some shit, you know?
Yeah. So I was watching them. I had like 2 beers in me. I was watching them. They were fucking ripping. And then I watched, shout out Harm's Way. I was watching their set from Sound and Fury, and then I was just like, and then I had this was the funny part.
What's Limp Bizkit from about fucking 20 years ago up to?
I'll tell you how I got the Limp Bizkit, because I had one of my favorite videos ever. Go on, shout out 197. They're in my heart turning into the new Hate 56, because the turnaround rate on 197, whatever the rest of the name is, just look up 197 and they'll pop up on YouTube. The turnaround rate, and I love Hate 56. I love the shitty post, but the turnaround rate on 197 is unreal, and it's the same quality of the Hate 56 videos. You know, and I'm sure he's got a good reason why he's got a slow turnaround rate, and that's fair, but just as a consumer, it's fucking great.
So it's a newer model number, so it's probably has something to do with that. It's the updated version.
And he had this one of my favorite videos to watch, one of my favorite live videos. He has this this live video of Drain. We've talked about them before.
Drain, yeah.
This live video of Drain.
Not as much as I thought, by the way. I want to update people. I'm not as big of a fan as I like them, but don't love them.
Nice.
Sorry, I just wanted to update them just so I could neg them just a little bit.
No, I hear that. Yeah, you just want them to reach out and be like,
Pat, what happened? Where did we go wrong?
Pat, what can we do?
Where did we
get you invested in Drain? No, and then their live video from like LBD from like 2020, I think it was, is just one of the craziest live videos. But then my YouTube algorithm knows me, and they're like, oh, this was the point. It was a mixture of my YouTube algorithm knew me, and I was like, oh, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm watching a lot of shit. And so I took my water bottle here, and I was like, let's see how many beers fit into that.
I was going to say, no, you know what's funny? But right before you said that, I was going to be like, was it the one trip you made out to the fridge where you're like, I'm just going to grab 3.
Could you hear me every time I came out?
No, not at all.
Oh,
not at all. No, I was just wondering if you
I try to be quiet because you leave the door open for the cats.
No, I think about it because like it's no, we're pretty sound sleepers as far as that shit. But like if you're coming in and out, like I just know that feeling of like you have that one trip, you get a beer, you sit down, you drink it, and then you're like, because it happens with UFCs. It happens with UFCs for me, like where it'll be that one trip, and I'll sit down and I'll be like, well, next one I'm gonna grab 2.
Yeah.
Like I blew through this one, but I was like, I don't want this one to get warm, and then it's like, well.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Can I tell you my process?
Yeah.
I didn't initially know what kind of night it was gonna be, so I grabbed 2, and I go, no, this second one's because I like them ice cold.
Yeah,
your fridge is at the perfect beer temp, by the way. The DCs
these there's a green one up there. You can use it anytime.
I may have to get one of those.
It's a perfect little mini cooler where you just set it there and you just like you drink this and you finish this one. I sound drunk already. I'm fucking zooted on DCs. But you drink this one, you finish that one, you're like, oh, that's good. And you're like, damn it, I'm probably gonna have to grab a new one. But
yeah,
because you feel this part, you're like, I don't know. You snap that bitch open.
But I wasn't sure
perfect.
I wasn't sure how the night was going, so I put the second one back because I like them ice cold. I need them ice cold, and so I was like, it's gonna get too warm, but then it hit a point where I was like, oh, I know how this night's going. So I got 1 beer, second beer, and then on the third trip back, 3 beers. Yeah, because I looked at this and I was like, this probably holds 3 beers, and it pretty much did. It was the kind of thing where you fill it up and you're like, oh, that's not gonna fill it. Chug.
Yeah.
So it pretty much held 3 beers, and then that mixed with my algorithm was like, oh, he's locked in. We know what he wants.
Yeah.
And I was watching like it was either fucking like Limp Bizkit or Slipknot. And I think, would you add Slipknot to new metal?
I was actually thinking that because so I recently I think it was on the drive from PA to Texas that like I revisited Slipknot's first album.
Okay.
And then I was like,
is that the self-titled?
Yeah, it's just Slipknot. It's like I think it's just a jumble of numbers or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's essentially so that one I would consider this, but I went on to their other albums after that. They're like drastically different. It's still Slipknot, but it's like as far as the attitude, like the music, it's not just the production and shit like that, but the actual like. So I would say the first 1999, like their self-titled one, that one would be considered it, but them as a band probably not.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They
definitely
personally.
I think they definitely let getting mainstream affect their sound a little.
They became less new metal, like in the sense that like because there has to be some kind of rap element to it, right?
Yeah, it's like you have the DJ or You have sort of like the slowed down but still heavy rhythms and shit.
Yeah.
And then there is some sort of like,
I got more groove on the first one, where
I
the
think
other ones,
groove's a big element because like new metal is heavily influenced by it'd be white dudes into rap and black dudes into rock come together.
yeah, the first album, I kind of get that element of the rap influence in Slipknot, whereas throughout I don't get that as much because there's like
Because
I think it's Sick, or it's one of their songs, or Spit It Out. Spit It Out is like one of the best new metal songs,
yeah.
but I would never consider Slipknot a new metal band.
Oh, this is how I got to new metal and Slipknot and shit. Yeah, I was watching the 197 videos, and I know there's this band called, I keep forgetting what they're called. It's something 909, and they're like a bit more of a deathcore slam or beat slam band, and they do a cover of Eyeless. That's fucking nuts. I'll look up the name of this band because they do this cover of Eyeless in their one. So that's how I got over to like Slipknot and Limp Bizkit. But literally, like Eyeless, I would consider a sort of more metal influenced new metal song because literally it starts off with the turntables going like,
yeah,
and then they like go into the shit.
Oh, that's the one where it's like,
and then I just got in. I was just ripping Limp Bizkit and like new metal and stuff like that, and it made me realize I was like, I've brought up this topic before. It's similar to how I say wrestling is one of the most purest art forms, and this might be a hot take, but like new metal is kind of it's not commenting on the quality, it's commenting on the intent of making the music. From an entertainment standpoint, it's a surprisingly pure art form.
Yeah,
because a lot of new metal, because like a lot of other genres, pop punk gets it a little bit, but they still have this. What I'm about to say is a lot of these other genres have this sense of like almost you're trying to be cool. So any sort of like pure expression has a little bit of layer of like irony or I don't know, detachedness to it or something like that. Like I'm trying to go for a thing. New metal to me is just because people always point out sort of the flaws of new metal. But if you actually think about it, when you're expressing yourself in a pure form, you're gonna have all your flaws attached to it.
Yeah.
So once again, it's not commenting on the quality of the music; it's commenting on the intent of the music. And like new metal actually has like the purest intent of a lot of music.
And that's what I was just gonna say. I think the ones maybe that held the crown right before that, or possibly even like I would say share the mantle with them with new metal, new metal is ska punk bands like Rancid or something like that. I think have that same kind of idea of like we're not afraid of like, because if you think about the other bands that like Tim Armstrong has been in, like he is not afraid to be a fucking like artist.
Yeah,
like he's not too cool for anything. He does some really lame shit.
Well, and that's what
in a cool way. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I think you're 100% right because
like if you think about it, on the surface, new metal it should be considered kind of lame, but we've discussed this with even like
you're really loving being able to touch me.
I can't.
I'm not mad about it.
It's just making tactile. Me. You can touch me
if
you're within arm reach. You're gonna get it.
You've just been hitting a lot of like, listen here, brother.
Yeah, but we talked about with Fred Durst and like his lyrics and stuff like that are very, very what's it called? Vulnerable. Yeah. They're very so you get emo, you get metal, you get fucking swagger.
Korn's a really good example of that. I feel like their lyrics are some of the most vulnerable. No, and ska's I didn't even think about ska because like
it has to be ska punk, because if it's just ska has that
ska is kind of going for a thing.
Yeah.
But in general, ska is the result of, well, I would say actually probably like that second wave ska where you're doing like, you know, like the specials and shit like that. Yeah. They were trying to be cool. You know what I mean? They're all active. But I'm saying like the generation of ska I came up in where it was just a bunch of band nerds that are like, wait, you can play horns over punk music? it's the epitome of not worrying about being cool.
But like, so if you're in new metal though, you get to hang out with Eminem and Korn. You get to hang out with fucking Marilyn Manson. You get to hang out with fucking.
You also get the dude. You get the because if you look at it like a party, like new metal is almost if you went to a party.
The artists get it.
Yeah,
You know, is what I basically.
Oh,
What I'm
that's
saying.
a good
Yeah,
point.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
but like if you look at it as if it was a party, new metal's like if you went to a party and you got real drunk, but you never worried about like, ooh, let me keep it together and try not to seem as drunk as I am.
Yeah.
New metal's going to a party, getting drunk, and just letting it fly.
And you can be a fan of any of those genres that we're talking about. Like, you can be a fan of like Cypress Hill, but you're also a fan of fucking like Metallica,
Yeah.
or like Megadeth or some shit like that. Like, it is the truest form, and
you
that's
can
what
be
I
a
was saying.
fan of System of a Down.
Yeah,
It's System of a Down is an interesting band in the context of new metal because no one would ever call them new metal, but then you're like, but what if they headlined a new metal festival like Sick New World?
yeah,
You go, oh yeah, that makes complete sense.
yeah. You wouldn't argue it. Well, they like, so it's kind of that you can be anywhere.
Yeah.
So like, it is. I think it's the truest form, but it's apparently a great genre to end the night on.
Well, because it's like for me, I think that because I definitely am a man living. I'm way better now, but I've been a man living embarrassed of himself, and it's like the least embarrassed I am is definitely about 5 beers in.
Yeah.
And that's when that's sometimes I try to be truer in my day to day, and I think I'm getting better at it every day. But I know for me, there was a big stretch where it's like you wouldn't get the real Andy until about 5 beers in, and 5 beers in, that's the real Andy, and that's the Andy that unapologetically loves Limp Bizkit and all that other shit, and I love being a fucking sloppy fat idiot and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So that's why I personally connect to it very directly.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've had plenty of those nights where like you're like you feel like you have to justify something, and you're like, I don't have to fucking justify that shit. I like what I fucking like, and it's good. I like it because it's fucking good.
Yeah, that's a big leveling up in your personal experience where you hit a thing where you go, oh, I like this, and I'm not going to spend time like if someone goes that sucks ass. Like upgrading as an adult is going, that's fine.
Yeah.
I like it. You think it sucks ass. That doesn't affect my day.
Yeah.
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 Before we wrap it up, because I think we're hitting that point to wrap up the episode. I forgot to look at the exact time we started, but so I think we got a little bit to go. But I wanted to ask you this because I about a month ago did my 3-day drive. Did you do 3 days to get to Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I about a month ago did my 3-day drive to Texas. I drove down. My mom wanted to come with me on the journey. So drove down with my mom. You came down about a week ago. Shout out Bobby Schmerda. You came down about a week ago, and I didn't realize this. I thought you guys only had one car because based off how I've talked to you about things in the past, I just assumed you only had one car, but you had 2 cars. So you and Dom did. So I drove down with my mom, and I'm the type of guy when you're in my car, I'm going to meet you halfway on music because I want the other person in the car, especially if we're driving for a while. I want the other person in the car to have a good time in the car. Like obviously, and this is the thing I'm curious about your opinion on. I think at the end of the day, whoever drives the car controls the radio. You're allowed to give up. You're allowed to give the aux to anyone you want, but it's your final decision. What are your rules in the car?
Yeah, that's the rule. Like I'm usually really bad about riding a lot of times, and it's not just because of those things. I just can't like relax when somebody else is driving. Like I can't just sit there and like kind of fall asleep a lot of times. So
that's good to know. I love driving with a person who has to drive because I'm good for about 2-3 hours, and then after that I don't want to fucking drive.
I just give me some sunflower seeds and that's all. I'm fucking good for as long as that keeps me awake.
Pat, deal.
Got it. Oh, thanks, pal.
If we're driving in a car together, sunflower seeds are always on me.
Deal. That's on tape. That's on wax. But yes, that is the rule. Anytime whoever is driving. So a lot of times if it's if Dom asks or something like that, she'll just be like, do you mind if we listen to this? Or like, I don't mind giving it over, but
you just be like, no.
Yeah. For the most part. Yeah. If her phone connects, I'll just kind of like look over and go like, You want to take care of that?
That's what you're playing?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
you're playing that one?
if it automatically connects, it's got to be discussed ahead of time. But if it was a road trip, so actually I had the pressure recently of we were riding with comic Gretchen Dietz.
Oh, is that the Gretchen we were hanging out with?
Dietz? Is that her name? Am I saying that wrong?
I just don't know. I know Gretchen. I don't know her last name.
Gretchen. We'll just say Gretchen, just to be. Oh, you'll look it up. Good. We were riding with her, and she was like handed me the phone
That was interesting.
and was like, "Here, you can go ahead
Dietz
and DJ."
Diets. I don't know how to say her last name, but yeah, that was an interesting move to immediately hand it over, because that for me, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. So
I like to go, no, you play what you want to hear.
So I was trying to think of like, okay, so as far as I took account what was playing when we came in the car, then I also took into the account the people in the car, did some fast math for the first time in my life, and was like Idols, and it was a hit. You know what? You know how I knew it was a hit? Because she didn't say like, "Oh, this is good. Who is this?" or anything like that. She just did the thing where she looked at the because she wants to suggest this to somebody.
Yeah,
she's going to use this in the future to impress somebody.
Idols is a good group pick because all their music, like you can hear like the, what would the word be? You can hear this like seriousness to it.
Yeah, but it's still poppy.
But it's still upbeat at the same time.
It's good. It's great party music, and it's great for if you're paying attention to it playing, or if it's background music. It works both ways, and it's not going to be too offensive either way.
It's pretty. I was doing that one day.
DJ.
One day when I was trying to read, I put on. I've been doing this a lot, just for background music. I've been putting on concert videos.
Yeah.
Full
concerts, like performances, perfect.
Dude, there's something great about, because you have the full performance, then there's something about hearing like the crowd noise and stuff.
A little bit of banter.
It feels like, because the one, like my problem when I try to read is I'll be like sitting down and I'll read a thing and that reminds me of another thing and then I get distracted. And it's like my brain, when I have like that background noise with like the crowd in it with the concert video, it gives it this thing like I'm not alone in my room. It like hijacks your brain and it makes you almost feel like you're like, oh, I'm at a whole fucking thing where because sometimes for me, when there's like a bunch of stuff quietly happening around me, it like distracts that part of my brain that's gonna get distracted.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when I was driving down, my mom, she's real into a lot of like 60s, 70s music. That's when she grew up. So I like kept it in that vein. Because my mom likes what she likes. And I was probably like, yeah, she's not gonna, I don't, any of the stuff.
She's not gonna like Idols.
Any of the stuff I like specifically, it's not gonna like the stuff we like together is stuff she liked that I heard, and I go, I also like that.
Yeah. Or even do you ever go covers of, like I would always try to connect with my mom with like songs that I knew, like Me First and the Gimme's cover. You know what I mean? Like I like, oh yeah, this is a Willie Nelson song that they do, and like.
So I didn't do that, but what I did do is I started. Well, this was pretty cool because actually this goes contrary to what I just said, because I found
my mom likes Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah, my mom goes like, pop on that old Blood Brothers album. I go, Mom, really?
Yeah.
No, so I found, and they're a popular band, so this isn't like you found them, but I found CCR on my own. And I love them. And then I found out, my mom does, like everyone likes CCR.
Yeah.
But like CCR is one of my mom's main bands. So I was hitting CCR radio on Spotify.
Oh, smart.
And then we were doing a lot of like soft rock from those eras. And then a lot of sort of more blues influenced stuff. And I started to realize, dude, because it reminded me of this tip I got from, shout out the great Robbie Bernstein, where, me and Pat here, we're not huge fans of the jam band, but if you get one of those more old school jam bands and you put on where there's a heavier blues influence, you got to get the blues influence on it. Yeah. But if you get one of those old school jam bands, you put on their live concert, it's really good driving music. And that's what we were feeling with like the CCR and everything. Yeah. So we kind of rocked that the whole time because it was, we were listening to a few like music podcasts that she liked and that I ended up liking. But yeah, dude, we're hitting a lot of 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Cause like I think those are two of the best decades for music, because when the 80s happened, that's when you start getting a lot more electronic instruments.
Yeah.
And that's when genres started to be like substantially more fine tuned.
Yeah.
You could have in the 80s, I feel like the 80s was the beginning of having hyper specific genres in mainstream music.
Yeah, it got a little it got really splintered big time. Like there was a lot of that. But like I don't think there was a lot of back in the day. I think it was just I think everything just kind of moved slower in general, but there was still like you could see the beginning of a lot of other genres coming from that. Like but that's when you know it's a truly artistic time when so many things can come from that one era. You know what I mean? Like the MC5 can come from like a lot of the bands where you're like, or we were talking about Iggy Pop and his ways.
His pedophilia.
Yeah, allegedly. Well, also,
no, it's. I mean, he
also documented.
Can you grab the book?
Huh? This one.
Yeah, this is my Bible. No, in this book, which this has been, I know a lot of people, and my wife got it for me as a gift.
My wife.
And a lot of people big up this as one of the books you need to read to learn about punk rock and stuff. But it is a lot of. Pat, come on. He's just looking at my video games. They're good games. But a lot of people, like I've heard a lot of people talk about this book as like a good oral history of the beginning of the oral history of the beginning of punk rock. And it is, but it is also just pages upon pages of like them talking about the drugs they were addicted to.
Yeah.
Like there was one chapter where it was like a big chapter talking about like the fashion of the time. And at first I was rolling my eyes about that because I'm not like big into fashion clearly, but you do realize in any genre, the fashion of the genre does have a strong influence. So it became, but dude, a lot of this book is basically musicians from the 60s admitting to fucking kids. That's why it's not allegedly. They say it in the book. It's a lot of musicians admitting to having sex with children in the 60s and then just talking about the drugs they did. And it's like interesting at first. And then like you get to the 10th chapter and you're like, yes, we know Iggy Pop did a bunch of heroin. Yeah. You're like, talk about something else.
Utterly and shamelessly sensational news day.
Also, I will say this: if I can also attack Iggy Pop one more time, stop saying he invented crowd surfing.
Yeah,
really? You invent jumping into the crowd? It's not like a unique. He. Okay, fine. First guy to ever did it.
Yeah.
It's like saying you invented a sandwich.
Yeah, but it wasn't on purpose. Nobody said like, "Oh, I can't wait for him to do that again." They were like, you didn't invent people being polite.
Yeah, you
like
don't.
People not letting you fall on the ground because you're a stupid drug addict, you dummy.
Yeah, there's something about
you're also incredibly light.
Yeah, there's certain things in this world you can invent.
Yeah,
it's like you could say,
you know that thing you do when you're through your nose. Like sometimes you do it through your nose and then out your mouth. Sometimes
I'll give you discovering. Like who's the dude who discovered gravity? Newton.
Yeah,
he discovered
Fig Newton.
Yeah, Fig Newton. He was in the middle of eating a cookie and it fell down. He was like, gravity did that.
Little did he know that he would be more known for the cookie.
But no, yeah, it's like I saw a thing where I love bringing this one up because I also do get into, obviously I get into food hardcore, but I watched this thing where this burger stand, it was like one of those burger stands that's been around since like the 1800s. And the burgers look good. I'm not shitting on the quality of burgers, but they're talking about like, do you know hamburgers were invented in Connecticut? And you're like, no, hamburgers weren't invented.
They're Hamburg, Germany.
Yeah, it's like, but also too, it's like, oh, you put meat in between bread? Get fucked. Like they were talking about, I don't know. You don't invent that the same way you don't invent falling on an audience.
Yeah, you can't, especially as a drug addict. Like you know what I mean?
You're
like
doing that anyway.
Yeah, there's plenty of times. So either way, like the surfing would imply that you meant to do it and you also meant it to be a means of travel.
No, there's actually like footage of Iggy Pop turning to a camera going, "Watch this,"
and he takes a surfboard and throws it on. Yeah, I just think that I think if especially if the person, I don't think did Iggy Pop ever actually surf.
Oh, so you're taking it literally.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like there's a point where like you're like, I think
He definitely
probably the first crowd surfer. I would have to assume surfing is most popular in California.
Yeah.
As far as music scene wise, punk wise,
Yeah.
you know, I'm saying like Iggy Pop was more into heroin.
I think I think the closest Iggy Pop would get to surfing would probably be body surfing, but that goes back to what you said earlier.
Just falling down.
He was on a bunch of heroin when a wave hit and he fell over, but he hit the wave right. That's the closest Iggy Pop's gotten to surfing.
And he stopped on the shore and they're like, "Whoa, Iggy, you made it back." And he's like, "Yeah, I guess I just body surfed here." Trademark.
Yeah, but you didn't say what. So I rolled with my mom. We found the halfway point in our music taste. What were you doing on the solo trip to keep you focused?
Mainly listening to a lot of. I listened to a lot of the a podcast that I had kind of discovered and started from the beginning of like Little Stinkers.
Oh, shout out Little Stinkers.
A lot of deep dives and like murder pods and stuff like that. Some audiobooks. Not a ton of music except for, like I said, that Slipknot dive where it really soured me in the music dive for a little bit. But then I went for my not normal. I didn't go new music. I didn't go anything like that. I went my iTunes instead of my Spotify. So it's a lot smaller and a lot more condensed as far as lots of Mutoid Man. Yeah, like stuff that I know I love because I've purchased it. So Norma Jean, Mutoid Man, stuff like that. But I did that Slipknot analysis and it really kind of pissed me off. Like I was like, damn, they really, in my opinion, really dropped off after their first album.
I got to check it out. I've only been locked into the hits. On
I'm not I'm not a diehard Slipknot fan, and they definitely had hits after that for sure. But
yeah,
I feel like there's really kind of a frustrating thing to be like, man, there's so much fucking energy and it's so good. The first album, but that just brings us back to our new metal talk, and that's what that brought us.
You made an interesting point too, where I didn't think about this because I haven't had. Also, especially shout out Texas for everything or Austin. Texas is very far apart, but everything in Austin is very close together.
Yeah.
Shout out Austin and easy to get to. They bitch about the traffic out here. Brother,
I know.
Go back to Jersey. Go to Jersey and tell me how the traffic is down here.
Just in general, just like it's always, it may be condensed, but it moves at least, for fuck's sake. So.
Oh, but yeah, you said a thing that I knew but didn't realize in the moment where sorry, that sounded like I was like, I'm smart, just not in that. But no, I remember having I should have said I remember having this feeling and I forgot about it. But yeah, when you're doing solo long drives, music isn't like, because like we would listen to music and then me and my mom would talk a bunch.
Right.
But like when you're solo, just listening to music gets very boring very quickly.
Yeah.
Because then it's honestly just you sitting there. So yeah, when I do the long drives, it's a lot of pods and audiobooks.
Yeah. So it would be weird. Every once in a while, I would just realize that there was nobody else in the car with me besides my cat. So I would just be like, oh, I don't. Then so every once in a while we would just talk on the phone too for a while, but it was a lot of just talking on the. Or listening to like other people talking.
Nice. Hell yeah, good pod. I do want to read. There was a question, and I want to hit it before we get out of here. Moldy Toad 69 said, "You fuck with Terminal Sleep or Volatile Ways? They're both Australian bands."
Terminal Sleep rules.
Terminal Sleep, yeah, and actually funny in the Shinto Katana.
Yeah, you got it.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, that was right.
In the Shinto Katana video, the lead singer actually had a Terminal Sleep shirt on.
Yeah.
I forgot. I forgot that they're Australian. I've never heard of. I'll put them in my Spotify right now because if you're pairing them up with Terminal Sleep, I'm guessing they're good. But I have not heard of, what is it? Volatile Ways. I like that name.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I didn't. I think there's another band that's like really weird. I think they're called like Truck Rider or something like that. It's a mostly instrumental. I think they're also Australian or something like that. I might be way off.
Oh yeah. Not to be a disgusting pig, but I immediately click on Volatile Ways, and their lead singer or the girl in the band has a thong poking out.
Oh dear.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Um, I am a big Volatile Waste fan. I didn't even realize
we
that.
gotta go right now.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna wrap up there. I'm bricked up. So let's wrap it there. Thank you for hanging out. Once again, we're gonna try to bust these out every Friday. So if you're for the people watching in the stream, if you're listening on iTunes or watching on YouTube, twitch.tv/Andy Malfrina if you want to watch and hang out with us live. Thank you so much. We love you all. Have a good one. Be about a peace.
God bless.